Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, however, wherever, and whenever you may be watching. Welcome to episode 68. Not 67, not 69, but 68.
The number that really gets disrespected, if we're being honest.
I mean,
It's a really fine number, but it gets overlooked.
Yes.
By the two behemoth numbers.
It's like Nick Gonzalez,
Yeah. Well.
I think.
wasn't Yammer Yager 68?
Yeah.
Look
Yeah,
at
I think
that.
he
I know
was.
my numbers.
I don't know. I don't know numbers, but I'm fairly certain you're correct.
So, it's just the three of us today. No guests, no special guests. If you were enjoying the guests, we're sorry. Our streak has ended. But we'll be picking that up
It's very
soon.
unfortunate.
We have some, it's coming to the end of the school year. We'll have to have some seniors back on, potentially. We have some other guests we may have in store. Thank you again to Austin and Kevin Gorman, Andrew Filipponi a few weeks back. Check out those episodes if you haven't already. We have a lot to talk about today because as nice as it's been to have guests, we haven't talked a whole lot of ball like we normally do. So we got to talk. We're gonna talk. It's opening day. Well, today is an opening day. Yesterday was opening day. Although today, some teams it's their opening day today. So we're gonna get into MLB. Divisions, teams, maybe make some predictions. Well, we may be pulling some stuff out of our ass, but that's okay. But we're going to open with the Pittsburgh Pirates and what happened yesterday. But before that, Nate has an important announcement.
Yeah, so our class and everything, we're promoting Point Park Night at PNC Park. It's happening.
What's our class, Nate?
Sports PR and advertising.
With
It's
Alex
it's
Moser. Shout out. He watches the podcast. Alex
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
On occasion,
And
on occasion, yeah.
Oh, shout out. Nice.
So join us for Point Park Day, April 14th, 6:40 p.m. It's against the Washington Nationals. We're celebrating Pioneer Pride that day. And your ticket, if you buy a ticket, students, it's very inexpensive. It's very affordable. And first 300 will get a very nice Pirates jersey, Pirates Point Park themed jersey. It looks really cool and everything. It includes some customizable food and drink options. And there's also a $10 voucher for drinks if you're 21 or older, if you would like to indulge in some
And we encourage
beverages.
the drinking be responsible.
Yes.
And,
Be
and if you're not
responsible.
responsible, stay away from the right field wall.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But you know what? If we
Okay.
could, honestly, in the edit, if we can get a picture of the jersey just so people
Oh,
can
yeah.
see what the jersey
Yeah.
looks
Yeah, I
like,
think we could
that'd
do
be
that.
excellent.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna have a link. We're gonna put a link in our description.
Okay.
And follow us on our Instagram. It's PPU at PNC for more details about the event and everything that's going along with that. But we're gonna have a link in the description where you could purchase your tickets. Obviously, students, we encourage you to do that. It's gonna be a fun night. Baseball, the Buccos, we think we're gonna get into this, but we think they're gonna be a little better this year. We hope they're gonna be better and taking on the Washington Nationals April 14th. So that's coming
That's
up.
a very winnable game.
Yes.
Very winnable game.
Wow, that was the same case last year the Nationals
Was it
played
the
on.
Nationals?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah, that was awesome.
There you go. So if you're interested, there's going to be a link in the description of this video for tickets, and you can read more about it. And so that's just wanted to mention that because we're trying to sell some tickets, and it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night honoring Point Park students. So if you're a Point Park student, you want to feel that Pioneer pride.
Well, that's going to be there's going to be a lot of Point Park pride because April 14th is Point Park night with the Pirates, and April 9th, the Point Park baseball team, easily the best sports program here at the university, is playing at PNC Park against, is it Cal U they're playing?
I believe. I'm
Or is it
pretty
IUP?
sure.
I think it's Cal U.
Yeah.
So that is also another event that I'm very excited for. But April 14th, Bucks Nats,
6:40
night,
p.m.
free jersey if you get your ticket. So the Pittsburgh Pirates, they open their season against the New York Mets Some like to call them the lull Mets. But we were talking last night, Nate and I were saying, if you look at the National League and you look at some of these teams that are normally contenders, and then you look at the Mets, you could make the argument that on paper, with the moves that they made this offseason, the Mets are the second best team in the National League. And I know a lot of people were hyped about them last year, but they cleaned out a lot of their old players and brought in some new guys. I think Bo Bichette is going to be such an underrated signing for them. Everybody knows how good of a player he is, but I don't know if that signing got the attention it deserved. But anyway, forget about the Mets for a second. Paul Schivins makes his season debut, doesn't get out of the first inning. Now we can overreact to that in one manner, but in the other manner, we all know about the certain individual who's in center field. If he would have made the routine plays, this is the same conversation we keep having year after year after year, whether he's at center, whether he's at short. If he just makes the routine plays, if you do your job, we're in that game because we scored 7 runs. We're in that game. Schivins probably goes at least 4 innings. It certainly wasn't his best start. We're not making excuses for him, right? It's opening day, no big deal really. But we're not going to say that, he would have been outstanding had Cruz not made those errors. But the talk of Pittsburgh right now is what are we going to do with Oneil Cruz? And I know it's one game. Everyone overreacts to opening day. But when it's the same stuff over and over and over again, us fans become insane because it's like deja vu. I mean, something similar to this happened in the Marlins game last year and on opening day, and he went on to have his worst season by far. So my question is, can it get worse for Oneil Cruz than it is right now? Are things going to get better?
Well, they'll get worse if it continues to happen. I think if it continues to happen like we're seeing, it'll be worse, even if maybe he's the same defensive player he was last year, just because it was just not good enough last season defensively. And it's just so frustrating because, and we've talked about this, going into the offseason, Oneil Cruz, he's working with Kevin Kiermaier. He's one of the better defensive outfielders you're gonna find, and he's working on it. It's a mental game, but he seems up to it, and he's ready to improve defensively and not be a liability in the outfield defensively. And it wasn't game 10 or 11 of the season. It was game 1. It was the first inning after Brandon Lau, and the Pirates fans are so happy because Brandon Lau, a new addition, hits a 2-run homer. You take a 2-0 lead, and Paul Schivins is on the mound. Just everything going good initially for the Buccos, and then you have the misplay, the misread in center field, and then you have just not having his sunglasses, losing the ball in the sun, and costing Paul Schivins a bunch of runs. Now, again, not making excuses for Paul Schivins, but you can't tell the story of that first inning without the 2 Oneil Cruz debacles in the outfield.
And they would have taken him out. I mean, they had to take him out because he had 40 pitches in 1 inning, and you're not going to risk it this early in the season.
Right. And 40 pitches in 1 inning is a lot different than 2 or 3 innings. I mean, you're throwing 40 consecutive pitches. It makes sense. I mean, I know people were complaining.
And it was high-stress pitches because the Mets were really making him work.
Luis Robert had a very critical at-bat.
He decides then to have his best at-bat of his career, probably. I mean, genuinely. I against Paul Schivins is baseball doesn't make sense at all.
And Schivins didn't have his breaking pitches weren't great. His changeup, he had a couple he threw that were nice, but to Robert he had one that went in the dirt and one that was non-competitive as well. They got it to a 3-ball count. But yeah, Robert, I mean, I think that was the turning point at bat because Schivins was on it. He got Robert, I think it was 0-2 or 1-2, and if you put him away with a strikeout or something, that momentum really shifts. You limit the damage. Schivins gets out of the inning with 25 pitches instead of a 37 or a 40 pitches. And Robert he's fouling off all those pitches. He's staying alive, and he takes that 3-2 pitch that was a strike all the way and just misses.
It's I watched the replay. Like, it's unbelievable how he took that.
I don't know how he took that.
It's insane.
It really was, and I just thought that was a tremendous at bat. And then just from there, you have the O'Neal Cruz situation and everything, and it's really tough for Don Kelly because
that brings up a good point. Yeah,
because now I was saying that now he had to answer questions about Cruz's defense when that was something that, again, he was supposed to be working on this whole offseason. It really is mental for him. I mean,
there's clearly something off from an IQ standpoint, from a focus standpoint. When I mean IQ, I mean baseball IQ. There's just always been something off from the beginning. And when you bring up Don Kelly, this really puts a test to who he's going to be as a manager. Because, and that's why I thought maybe they consider trading O'Neal Cruz in the offseason, because this was Don Kelly's team. Did Don Kelly want to deal with O'Neal Cruz?
That's a good point.
And, you know, I was saying yesterday, it's like, if this continues, like, I don't care about his 20 homers. If he's going to hit 220 or less and make stupid plays like that, like, I'd just rather have Jake Mangum in center field. And I hate to overreact, but it's like when you see the same stuff, and opening day, it matters more because it sets the tone for the season. It does. And it does matter. And I'm not saying that what the Pirates are going to be is going to be based on what happened yesterday, but it does set the tone. And losing it on opening day is one thing, but losing because of really simple plays like that, it's a momentum killer.
And I kind of want to touch like a little bit on what you said, because the Pirates, this whole game was exactly what we feared, and it seemed like exactly what the Pirates were willing to sacrifice for offense. Because like, it was funny because like the offense looked good. I mean, obviously you score 7 runs in a ball game, that's great.
Against Freddie Peralta.
Yeah.
I mean, Freddie Peralta didn't pitch horribly, got through 5 innings, but they had good at bats against him, scored 4 runs, and he's always been a Pirate killer.
Exactly. And then after that, you also have the questions going in, right? The defense, how much, I mean, other than Cruz, I mean, I don't know if any other defensive mistakes happened. I don't think they was.
Well, they didn't cover first base
that too,
once or twice.
That one's, yeah.
But those are tough plays.
Yeah. And then the bullpen, we were a little like, we thought it could be a good group. Obviously, there are questions, right? I mean, Montgomery, amazing stuff, but he's wild.
Can't throw strikes.
Justin Lawrence, big time injury, but he looked great, but who knows? I mean, it's just so many guys that you're relying on, and it's just a lot of uncertainty there. It's sort of all the things we worried about or sort of expected kind of played in that game, which I thought was funny. But, I mean, it's just, it's so hard to like, to justify the defense, the defensive mistakes, like, again, like you guys mentioned, Paul Skeens didn't have his best stuff, and there's times where he doesn't have his best stuff, but he would go 5 innings giving up 1 or 2 runs, stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, just a lot going on. It's hard to really fathom, but like I'm not that overly concerned about, obviously Skeens I think will be fine. I'm not overly concerned about all this stuff. It's just Cruz, I think you have to, if assuming this, like, if this happens again, you have to consider benching him a couple games as a punishment or putting him down in the lineup so that he's really like, hey, I need to get my head in it and get this
I didn't
together.
Understand him leading off. He hit 200 last year. What did he do to deserve to be leading off? Spencer Horwitz was excellent in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, he was.
And I know you love the speed, but again, if you've heard of the term appeasing the bratty child, You gotta do things as a manager to motivate guys and get their heads in the game. And O'Neal Cruz may be a case where it's unsolvable, but you have to try something. And I think with Don Kelly's background of being under Jim Leyland for many years, like, Jim Leyland would not put up with this for long.
I mean, he cursed out Barry Bonds.
So
he's gonna curse out, like, I'm
not saying we need to curse anybody out.
Exactly.
But there's a certain managing style that you have to have with certain players. You don't manage everybody the same, and I think that's going to be a big test for Don Kelly.
Yeah, and I think the off day here, you take that, I think you regroup and everything. I think O'Neal Cruz should be in the lineup on Saturday. I think.
Yeah.
Because I think if you take him out, I think that really. I think you.
No, you don't bench him or put him down the lineup yet.
No.
Yeah.
After one
But
game,
it's more
but-
just like if it keeps happening like over and
Right.
over. That's where
But
you make that decision.
but the big why people are overreacting is we've seen this every single year.
Right, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
like it's probably going to keep happening.
Right.
Because it's just like
Unless something changes.
unless something. But we thought it changed this offseason. You know, that's the frustrating thing.
Yeah.
That's what everyone was saying.
And I hope no one's like trashing Kevin Kiermaier because that's not on him. I mean, the individual
he
has to
said
be the one
himself.
executing.
He said himself that the big thing with Cruz is focus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a warning sign if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. And so I think, as your point about, I don't think Cruz should have been the leadoff guy from the jump.
Yeah.
Like he was.
Yeah.
Again, that's just added pressure on him after a season that did not go well for him. That's almost like a reward. You're leading off. When you're a leadoff hitter is one of your best, if not your best, average hitter in terms of on base and everything.
Because you want them up to bat more, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah, and I think speed doesn't matter as much if you're not going to be on base.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And so I think Horwitz, he proved last year he was honestly the Pirates' best hitter when he was playing.
He was.
And I think he would have been my leadoff guy. And it's just there's something about him being like 7th in the lineup or 6th or wherever he was that just kind of irks me because he was so good for this team down the stretch last year when no one else was hitting. Literally nobody else was hitting.
He was the only above average hitter on the team.
And so we're gonna put him 7th in the order. I don't like that. And I think he earned kind of a leadoff or at least a higher spot in the lineup, especially on this team, which is still at best an average offensive team. I think Horwitz should have gotten better for himself there. But again, Cruz, I think it's just tough. It's just tough because, like, what else can you do?
Yeah, you can't move him to DH because you have Ozuna there.
Well, what else? Just like mentally, because to me, that's the thing. It's the mental aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I never liked how when he catches a routine fly ball, he just puts it up and puts his glove down quickly, just like throws it up and everything. I feel like that's like a nonchalant kind of thing that kind of speaks more to how he is as an outfielder, even on balls that are maybe over his head or whatever. Kind of a lackadaisical effort at the baseball, which you just can't have if you're the Pirates, and especially with the criticisms maybe defensively of the team overall going into the season, and now this. And just for Paul Skeens, it was just tough because it cost the Pirates the game, obviously, because he's out after 2/3 of an inning.
Mm-hmm.
Now your bullpen. Now, luckily they got this. I don't like the day off after the opening day game. I really don't.
Yeah.
Especially from
It's for a weather thing. I mean, that's why they do it.
But from an MLB perspective, everybody gets hyped up and everything. Oh, wow, opening day and everything. This is great. And then we're just not playing the next day.
Yeah, but you have games. Teams are opening today.
I know, but it's not your team necessarily for certain. You know what I mean?
It's okay. There's 160 more, buddy.
I know.
161.
It's just a little thing. I'm not,
Okay.
crazy. I'm not crazy about the day off. But anyway, I think the Pirates. It's just an impossible situation with Cruz because not even about like moving positions, but just
They
like how do you
literally
get him?
They moved. I'm sorry, let me interrupt. They moved him to center field because they thought it would be easier for him, and it should be center. I mean
with his
easier.
speed, I mean, he should be able to track down gap to gap.
And the arm too.
Yeah,
that was the other reason why they moved him. I think it was a good decision to move him to center field.
I agree.
But it's on to the player at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like, it's just like, how do you get that out of him from a mental standpoint? Like, is that ever going to happen? I just don't know. And now you're like, oh, you want to move him to DH? We got 5 of them on the team.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to do that.
You can't.
And the one thing that I honestly wasn't a good look either was during the post game, I guess, interview press conference. He wasn't really taking responsibility. He was saying, oh, well, the sun was in my eye and stuff like that. And it's like, there's two reasons to.
That brings up another thing that people are talking about with this. Why wasn't he wearing sunglasses?
Yeah, and not only that, not only do you have to wear sunglasses, but he has the speed where he can afford to keep his glove up and block the sun and still track down fly balls at an elite level. He has the speed to do so, and the fact that he wasn't utilizing any of the things you're taught from a very young age. I mean, that just, to me, it just shows you don't care. And he also probably should have realized that, hey, after that first Brandon Lau homer, he got under it completely and went over the wall. Everyone in the outfield should have been like, hey, the ball might carry a little bit today. And that should have been the expectation. So the fact that Cruz made that first step forward, yeah. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just not being aware of the situation. And that's just the result.
Yeah, I didn't see that Cruz. I didn't see his post game.
Well, Don Kelly, they asked Don Kelly, why was he wearing sunglasses? Don Kelly didn't have an answer. I'm not blaming Don Kelly. But it's obviously like Don Kelly said that's something we have to be prepared for, which means I have no freaking idea why this idiot wasn't wearing glasses. No, I don't mean to call him an idiot, but like that's what he's basically saying in so many words. Like I don't know, and that's not Don Kelly's responsibility to say, hey O'Neill, wear your sunglasses, buddy. Like this isn't Little League.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was trying to pull. Oh, yeah. Don Kelly on O'Neill Cruz not wearing sunglasses. We need to make sure that we're prepared right there. So, like, that's all you need to know. Like, what's he supposed to say? But, like, and again, I want to say it is opening day. We don't want to overreact. But with O'Neill Cruz
there's a track record of that.
Yeah.
With O'Neill Cruz specifically, I think fans have the right to be concerned and maybe overreact a little bit because he is a huge key for this team. And the guys we got for this lineup, O'Hearn, Lau, Ozuna, all that's great. But the teams that make the playoffs, even the Yankees, even the Dodgers, the guys that they bring up, through the system, there has to be some sort of impact there. Mm-hmm. And O'Neill Cruz, with his talent, there has to be something. And it's just making the routine, it's just doing the routine plays on a day in and day out basis. And mentally,
that's all we're asking.
And mentally being in it for a day in and day out basis. And that's harder than people realize. But when you're a big leaguer, that's the standard. That's what's expected. So I think people are, we're overreacting, but like at the same time, there needs to be an overreaction.
Yeah. And that's the only, I feel, overreaction people are having. I mean, it doesn't feel like anyone's overreacting about the bullpen or Skeens, which I don't think they should.
Well, the bullpen is a concern.
Yeah, it is, but like at the same time, like a lot of those pitchers came in probably with the realization that they might not be pitching that day. So it's just a lot. I don't know.
I didn't quite understand. Now, I know we have the day off and you can use, like, you don't have to worry about overusing guys. But, like, when a starting pitcher doesn't get through the first inning, that's when you bring in your long relief. Like, I don't know, where was Jose Urquidy? Where was Hunter Barca? I would have liked to seen them eat up some innings. Because it was just like we were just throwing Justin Lawrence and Mason Montgomery in there. It was just kind of like... And then we put in Dennis Santana in, who's our closer. It's just like, I don't know, but that's really not that big of a deal. But this bullpen, again, the guys behind Santana, there's a lot of question marks, and these guys have to, like, we can't have regression from Isaac Mattson, who kind of looked yesterday.
Yeah.
Justin Lawrence has to be somewhere close to where he was last year when he pitched. So, and he gave up 2 homers. And now this Mets lineup is a wagon. Like, we have to be honest.
They made it difficult for everybody. I mean, I was impressed with their at-bats all day.
Yeah.
With Simeon in the 7th spot, like, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. It is a deep lineup, and then when you got Carson Benj, a top prospect, homering, it's a very deep lineup. It really is.
It felt like a bunch of rookies making their MLB debut hit homers. Like, it was the weirdest thing, like, the past couple of days.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight a couple positives. Obviously, Brandon Lau, what a debut. 2 homers. I feel bad that was wasted.
Yeah.
To have your debut with a team and you hit 2 homers and you lose by 4+ runs. Ryan O'Hearn went opposite field. But the guy that I don't think anyone's really talking about that I think looked very good yesterday, and I think it's a big positive, is Nick Gonzalez.
Absolutely.
Because he's playing third base. He's not really a third baseman. I remember we saw him make a nice play in the later innings, charging a ball on the run, making a very nice throw to first.
Yeah.
Again, we don't need you to be a gold glover at third like Brian Hayes, but if you could provide above average offense and do what's expected from a defensive standpoint, like, that's a huge sign. We saw him get a couple big hits yesterday. I think we talked about this in the offseason. He's been disrespected, and I think that's something he can use as motivation.
I agree.
Because he has shown to be a solid contributor, and I think that would be huge for the Pirates, obviously, until Connor Griffin arrives.
Well, I want to pump the brakes a little because
Why can't we have something nice?
well, no, but I don't think he's been I don't think he's been disrespected.
He's been disrespected.
Well,
in his mind, he's probably been disrespected.
But he's
And I
a
think-
league average hitter with a low on base.
But people
no
are acting like he's a
power.
bum. He's
I
a
don't
middle
know who's doing
infielder.
that.
He's a middle infielder by trade. He's not supposed to be a power hitter.
Well, I know, but he's okay.
So-
I commend him for playing third. I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just saying that he's a league average hitter and a below average defender. Like, what do you want? Like, I don't know. And I love Nick. I love when they drafted him. I don't want to go. We don't want to overreact after one game.
I'm not overreacting. I'm just saying he looked good.
Well, honestly,
it's something
like-
and I'm saying if he does a nice job, and I think his hitting is better than people give him credit for. Because last year, I think he would have had a much better year had he not been hurt for 2 months.
That's fair.
I mean, and
that's true.
The year before that, he was one of the better hitters on the team.
I just don't know who's disrespecting him.
Right now, he has something to prove, though, because
That's what I'm saying.
him and
Yes.
Triolo are pretty much battling for that third base spot whenever Griffin gets called up.
Right.
It's essentially
yeah.
a 1-month tryout. So, I mean, if Nick Gonzalez, if he's hitting far better than Triolo,
Which is, I would not be surprised.
yeah, and if he does, you start him at third base, and Triolo's your utility infielder. That whenever Griffin gets called up, and I think if Gonzalez can, if he's batting 270, 280, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
And then you can start him over Triolo, who is going to bat 220, 230. And to me, like, I'm willing to take that. And then Triolo, I think, is much better suited for utility infield role. And
Yeah.
I would be okay with that. So I'm really rooting for Nick Gonzalez to provide some offense because having him as your 7th, 8th hitter, I mean, he's going to provide like above average offense potentially. Like I'm taking that hard. So I'm really rooting for him. I hope he does well.
Yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect it. I don't want to make it like that. I'm just like, and I want him to. I certainly want him to play really well at third and everything. And I was encouraged by that. I just think like we have to be honest about who he is as a player. And if he hits 275, 280, that's a step up from what he's been. Because if you look at he's been a 260 guy with a sub 700 OPS. So if he can get over 700 a little bit, get on base a little more, and if he does hit 270 and he provides stable defense, and we were watching that. That was a really nice play he made.
Yeah.
Coming over, it's a long route. He's going into the middle infield and making that throw on the run. It was impressive. I didn't really pay attention too much I don't know if he got too much action at third base overall yesterday that I remember.
I don't remember. I think he might have only made that one play.
Yeah, but I will be interested to see how he looks. Obviously, that was very encouraging. But yeah, I think he's definitely a better hitter than Triolo at this stage.
Yeah.
And
Why was Triolo hitting 6th?
Yeah, that was a little weird. I mean, yeah. Like, I know you want that gap between him and the lefty gap and stuff.
If you're going to do that, I would put Gonzalez over Triolo.
Exactly.
I think Triolo, he's had a lot of success when he has
Triolo
hit in the 9th spot
Hey,
in the order.
yeah, Triolo had him and Gonzalez had like the same hit, that gap shot to right center.
Yeah, I forgot Triolo.
Because
Yeah.
Triolo, he had a nice, but he had a couple non-competitive at bats. We were watching. He took that strike 3 right down the middle.
Yeah.
The fastball, but Yeah, no, I hope Nick Gonzalez. I certainly agree he has something to prove, right? And I think that's the mindset that would be good for him to have. And I think he does have, and because I was surprised that they were like he might not make the roster. I was like surprised
Gonzalez?
about that. Yeah,
Who said that?
Yeah, because they were like Gonzalez and York were in a They were in a battle.
No
in spring
way.
training. Don Kelly said that throughout the spring training.
And that's the disrespect we're talking about here.
Man, I guess that is. I
That's
mean,
disrespectful.
Wow, that is the. I mean,
And by the way,
Don't you
in
guys remember?
2024, okay, he hasn't played 100 games or more in his career.
yeah.
So in a season in the major leagues, he hit exactly 270, and he had a 709 OPS. Like I would take that.
yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, I would take that. Last year he took a little bit of a step down, but again, it was a weird year for him with that ankle injury.
I remember last year, like in September, he kind of tapered off.
He was pretty doing
He was
well,
right-
and then he tapered off.
Yeah.
He was actually hitting better than he was the year prior until like mid-August, and then he kind of tapered off at the end. But that offense was just so poor last year.
How about this? Say Nick Gonzalez plays to his 162 game average in his career, which is hitting 10 homers, 33 doubles, 5 triples, batting 258. Would you take it?
What was his on-base fee?
His on base would be 301.
That's not no.
It's not, but I'm just saying, like, just if he does that in a full season, he's worth, I don't know, a good one win or something.
I mean, he always gives off good at bats too. Like
And there is
he
something.
strikes out, but like he doesn't strike out a ton.
Like
He used
again,
to be a lot more. I don't.
Yeah.
If you remember,
I
like
mean, look,
in the minors.
in 96 games, he had 73 strikeouts last
Yeah,
year.
like,
That's not terrible.
To me, if you strike out less than once a game in today's MLB, I'll take it.
And
So-
and another thing too, I don't know how much you can read into this, but he has had that clutch gene in
Yeah.
him
yeah, and that-
in big
yeah.
spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's had a lot of walk-offs. Yeah, I just remember against especially against St. Louis, he always walks
he puts
them
the
off.
ball in play. That's why I feel like everyone is too worried about how many walks a player has. It's like in certain situations, I'd rather you put the ball in play than walk.
Yeah.
And to me, Nick Gonzalez, he's perfect for having a runner on second, one out, and you need to drive in that run rather than if you have a walk merchant up and then they take a walk and then all of a sudden you set up a double play to end the inning. Like I'd rather have Nick Gonzalez in that spot. So,
Yeah, I think if you're a Pirates fan, you do feel comfortable having Nick Gonzalez in the lineup most every day.
yeah.
And again, like, does he have something to prove? I think absolutely.
And I think that's why I'm encouraged. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm encouraged by yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't want to rain on the parade like that. I didn't want because they put up 7 runs. The offense looked good. We like what we saw from Lau
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
O'Hearn with the opposite field homer. Reynolds had a nice hit. It was just one hit, but Henry Davis had his.
Let's go.
His classic ground ball down the third base line. It had velocity.
Yeah, I mean,
But, you know.
he
drove
did.
it
I don't
around.
think it was that, but I think it was a hard hit ground ball. He had the
Yeah.
highest exit velocity of any Pirate.
That's a hang the banner
That is
right
hang
there.
the banner, yeah.
And
It was 110.
anything you get offensively from Henry Davis
Yeah.
is a massive
You will
bonus.
take that in a
So
heartbeat,
I will be really interested to see if he can just hit over 200.
I mean, well, if
He
he
hit
can,
150 last year. I'm like,
if he get it over 200, he's at a bare minimum a two-win player.
yeah.
So that's what you would hope.
Yeah, if he hits 200 with like a mid 650, 660 OPS, honestly. I mean, I don't know what to expect from him, honestly.
Yeah, no one does.
But you can't have like crazy high expectations at this point because it just wasn't good last season. And with that defensive improvement, if you get a 220 and like a 650 OPS, a dozen homers,
Yeah.
50 RBIs,
As your ninth hitter. You'll
like
take
I
it.
would take that from Henry Davis at this
It's
point.
just crazy to.
And he would be like a
how low
2-win
the
player, 2.5 win
expectations are.
player.
Yeah.
It's crazy how low the expectations
It
are
is
now.
though.
for
Like
him,
it's
but
sad because you guys know I root for him, but it sucks that. That's
Hey, it's a
the
new
expectation.
season,
Yeah.
and he has something to prove.
I mean, that is very
He also,
true.
I think
Yeah,
I mean, you have Rafael Flores and
He
Eddie
has a lot
Rodriguez
to
waiting.
this whole team honestly has something to prove.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, and they've been talking about it all season. Fans want to see that. They want to see the fight for the playoffs from this team this season. They want to see the Pirates prove that they're a viable contender
Yeah.
this season. So I think that's kind of a rallying cry for this whole team. But Skeens is fine. He'll bounce back. We know that. Again, he's had this kind of game occasionally, but it just isn't that like 40 pitch inning. It's like a 25 pitch inning where he's missing with his breaking stuff and his fastball is a little arm side run. And he's just not as crisp. But again, we talked about this. He had the Juan Soto right center kind of. It wasn't a bloop, but it was.
That was the only legit hit he gave up, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he was a little wild.
The Jorge Polanco infield hit was just. And Jorge Polanco.
When you walk the first batter of the game, or of any inning, and then you have a squibber down the third base line, and there's nothing you can do. It's like, oh boy, here we go.
Exactly.
You know, you're in trouble. Like you just, as people who have watched baseball for as long as we have, and as attentively as we have, you know, it's like you just know when something's about to go wrong. I think for Skeens, the big. Now, I'm not concerned about Skeens. But I think something that he got away with last year. I mean, what he did last year was historical to have an under 2 ERA, and people have to realize
how hard
the
that
likelihood that he's going to have an under 2 ERA again. Like it's low. Like that's hard to do. I'm not saying he couldn't do it.
But he'll be close.
We'll see. I mean, look. I mean, like not everything lines up perfectly every year. Not everything. You never know.
Well, he's got to be that guy for this team again.
Yeah, but I'm saying him being that guy, that may not mean he has a 199
I mean, if he has a 2.5 ERA, that could lead the National League. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like he may not be exact, but back to I went off to do a different point. But I think that what Paul Skeens has to take from that game. And in general, because I think this was sometimes an issue last year, is getting behind in counts, right? And getting into all these 3-2 counts all the time, and 3-1 or he throws 3-0. Like that's what happened in the first at bat. He got down 3-0 to Lindor, and I think that comes from not that he's wild, but he's trying to be too perfect. Like he's trying to hit the edges and trying to do this, and it's like when your stuff is as good as it is, just pound the strike zone. Don't worry about being perfect. And maybe it was because the Mets lineup is so dangerous and he was trying to be perfect and he was just a little off. But even against the best teams, like just pound the zone. Like if you leave some over the middle, like I'm not going to complain about it.
And the funny thing is, after that error that Cruz made where Simeon hit the pop fly, Skeens just threw 3 straight fastballs to the bench and struck him out. And it's like stuff like that. It's like he can overpower people. There's some pitchers that can't overpower you, leaving it over the zone, like we saw with David Bednar a couple years ago, where he thought he could just throw the ball right down the middle and he felt like he can overpower people. Skeens can overpower people.
And it's about doing that early in the counts and getting ahead of hitters.
Yeah.
Because if you keep getting behind hitters, even as good as Skeens is, right? If you keep getting behind in counts and getting these 3-2 counts.
Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Hitters are going, after seeing you a certain amount of times, hitters are going to adjust and they're going to be able to hit you. So you're not going to be you're not going to be able to come back from those 3-0, 3-1 counts all the time like you did last year. And maybe he didn't do that as much as I think, but I do feel like that was an issue.
I feel like it was.
Yeah.
I feel like it definitely was.
And that drove his pitch count up, too.
He was somebody who, after 5 innings, he would be at like 85 pitches.
Yeah.
Right? Because he had, I do think he's trying to be too fine. I think, look, you guys have said it. Understand you can overpower people. Don't overthink it sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
especially if the changeup isn't hitting like it should, right? If the other pitches, the slurve and everything isn't working like you want it to, rely on that fastball and just focus on that pinpoint accuracy.
Yeah, and assuming Skeens is going to pitch against the Reds, right? I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think the last game of that series.
He can go in there. I'd imagine the Reds are probably going to game plan him, saying, "Hey, he might get behind in the count a lot. Let's take every first pitch if we can." That's your opportunity to start pounding the strike zone and see what you can do, and what pitches you can throw for strikes on an 0-0 count.
But that is interesting because a lot of teams actually, if you remember last year, got to Skeens on the first pitch.
Yeah.
If you remember for like homers.
Yeah.
And so there is like a weird thing where like his
but
first
I'd rather
pitch,
you hit a home or a solo shot than walk. You know what I mean?
That is true.
And just give up walks.
Yeah, I agree.
If they hit you, they hit you. Tip
Yeah,
your cap.
there's very, very little worry about Skeens
No.
right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
But it just is something to point out.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have to, because it was an aberration, for Skeens.
It's
seeing
something
that.
we never expected to see.
But again,
especially at this point.
It can't be overstated how much that was aided by O'Neal Cruz in the outfield.
Yeah.
So again, like, it kind of reminded me of some of his starts, like not the one against the Cubs, if you remember last year, where they hit some homers off of him.
That's the one team that always seems to like give him a little bit of trouble.
Or anyone on the Pirates trouble, really.
Yeah, but like,
Well, that's
it kind of reminded me where he was missing his spots a little bit, and then he would kind of serve one up to a Seiya Suzuki or a Kyle Tucker last season. Just like there were a couple of those starts where he was just a little off. It kind of felt like that. It didn't feel like he was terrible.
Right.
It felt like he made some he had a few changeups that were really good.
Mm-hmm.
So again, and he was great in the World Baseball Classic. So again, like
Go ahead, continue. Finish.
I was just saying again, I'm there's really not too much worry there. Livy Dunn's not worried, folks. It's
Well,
all
honestly,
good.
I would imagine.
She's doing Baywatchers right
I would imagine, regardless of if Libby
was at the
Dunn is
game,
in the house
actually.
or not.
Was she there?
Yeah.
She probably hit the exits real early then.
Well, I would imagine even if Livy Dunn was in the house right now with Skeens is probably in the dark room somewhere trying to decompress. Just because I know he's
doing
probably
his
upset.
own darkness retreat.
I would say not like one where he has to go to a different like country or something, but like he's just in his house.
He's just left the
where he is.
Pirates.
Yeah, he's just
He's
probably
going to-
in his house right now trying to decompress. I'd imagine because
We got to shout out our buddy Brian Cashman
Yeah.
because a big vote win on opening day. Despite Aaron Judge having 4 strikeouts, he still won 7-0. Max Fried shut the door.
yeah, that's been a
But
great
John
signing for
Heyman,
holy.
John Heyman thinks he's putting out some big report that Brian Cashman was all in on Paul Skeens at last year's trade deadline. We broke that news in March of last year.
Yeah.
When Brian Cashman himself came on the podcast and said, I'm coming after all your favorite players.
Yeah. He
This
literally
guy
was like,
he
"We'll
means
give you your 4
business.
top prospects."
Don't you understand? I'm standing on business. That's what that's what Brian Cashman is saying. And I think they genuinely believe that he wants to be a New York Yankee. But I just want to, John Heyman thinks he's a big shot for reporting that. We were on that before John Heyman. Excuse me.
But I don't think Heyman saw. I don't think Heyman saw our podcast. I gotta be honest. So I think he didn't know.
Well, the people do.
That is true.
The
they have to
50
alert
billion
Heyman.
people.
Yeah.
Yes, but
we have the inside scoop.
yeah,
and there's also inside scoop. Brian Cashman was scouting all 3 of us yesterday.
Yes.
That was a big.
After
should we put the film up a little bit? Some Jake Bell action.
No, I'll put some of you too. It wasn't just me.
you didn't get any film of me. You didn't
I
get
was
any,
pitching to you.
That's right.
Ah,
That's
dang.
right.
Cashman wasn't. He doesn't record other people. He
No, he
He
doesn't.
had the phone though for me.
He did.
But I was.
He did have the phone.
We may put that up in this. What if we
That
may
could be a
take
fun little
segment.
thing.
We could put that up as a segment this week.
Yeah.
Jake
yeah.
Bell and Schivins. Well, Schivins over here was hitting lefty and righty.
I was too, but I wasn't recording
Well,
hitting lefty.
we have both played baseball, obviously. High school stuff. He never played, but we did okay. He did okay. I mean, the lefty righty thing was it was a good showing.
Thank you. I think Cashman had a good showing.
Cashman,
Yeah, he did.
he never
We'll put
played,
Cashman
really.
up there, and he had a good showing of just pure strength and
Yeah.
will.
It was just the exit velocity was the highest, definitely, out of all of us.
Well, Pirate P. I mean, there was some exit velo on some of yours.
Yeah. I mean,
There was.
I'll give decent mechanics the credit for that. Not necessarily a lot of strength. Brian Cashman was all strength.
Yeah.
He's back in San Francisco now.
Oh wow.
But he stopped by yesterday, so that was fun.
Yeah, but that was.
We were asking if he was still in town today. He'd come on, but he wasn't available.
He said he's talking with our buddy Trent Grisham and just encouraging him and everything.
Yeah.
After giving him that qualifying offer.
Yeah.
And we love Trent Grisham now. I love Trent Grisham on this podcast.
That's a complete 180. That's the most complete 180.
Well,
I think on here.
you get to know somebody.
Right.
And I don't know him personally, but I saw some very encouraging videos of him being a great human being.
Yeah. And the
a fun
mustache.
guy.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. But it's funny, like I just remember like my first memory of him was that wild card game against the Nationals where he just botched that. I think Soto hit that, and he botched
when
and
he
the
was on
run
the
back.
Brewers, yeah.
Yeah, when he was on Milwaukee, and but yeah, Trent Grisham, Yankees are gonna need him. We're gonna get into some of these teams here.
Let's do it right now. What division? Pick a division, any division. What do we want to?
AL East. Let's just go East. AL East.
That's the monster.
Should we wait? Should we wait on that one maybe?
I
Or
mean,
do you
that's
want to
the
go
most
into that?
monstrous division in this, and easily. That's easily the best division in baseball. I mean, I think it was last year, and I think it will be again.
Yes, let's lock in on these rosters here.
I mean, you could have varying opinions, on these teams. Let's start with the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Baltimore Orioles because I think similarly to the Pirates, there's been a little too much hype. Like by the public.
In my opinion, I think they can be a playoff team. I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to be better than the Blue Jays.
Their over under being 84 is
That's
a
high. That is a high total.
Really?
That is.
To me, that's like wow.
Just because they won what? I mean, I know they made additions, but they won 75 games last year.
Yeah, but they started out horrendous, and they were they played well the last half of the season.
That's true. I think they could be a playoff team. I do. It's just. Yeah.
I mean, offensively, you get Pete Alonso, right? You get Taylor Ward off his best season. I'm a big Taylor Ward guy as an Angels guy.
And I was hesitant about that trade with Grayson Rodriguez, but he's facing dead arm syndrome or something like that.
He's on the injured list.
Yeah, so I mean, right, Grayson Rodriguez,
right?
Like that. That's at the time I was skeptical, but now that's looking like a fantastic trade, especially with the Orioles having now a deeper rotation, in my opinion.
The question is going to be, is Adley Rutschman ever going to take a step offensively?
Well, that's a big question. But in addition to that, you have Samuel Basallo.
Right.
Yeah. He's been their DH, right?
He signed a contract, big-time contract, and he can catch. And if he steps up, I mean, that's also big. And I think he's going to be very good. I watch him a little, and he's 21 years old.
I mean, his bat is very mature, and that's where he's going to get his value.
Yeah, the Orioles they are dealing with some injuries here to start the season. I remember Westberg got hurt, I think before even spring training.
Yeah, he did.
Jackson Holliday's going to be out for a while, so there are some depth concerns right now. Ryan Mountcastle, they were trying to trade him.
Yeah,
he's been hurt frequently. There are some questions, I think, offensively, certainly, because you know what you're going to get from Pete Alonso. And I do think the Mets, if they do have a shortcoming this season, it's going to be the drop-off in production, not having Pete Alonso. I mean, I love Jorge Polanco, but he's not Pete Alonso.
Yeah, and then at that point, if you had Alonso, you could have Semien at third base, so I'm sure could still play that position at a good level. So,
well, I think and the reason why we questioned that trade for Grayson Rodriguez or for Taylor Ward was because, yes, we love Taylor Ward, but the issue with the Orioles last year was pitching. And a lot of that was due to injury, but you get rid of Rodriguez. But obviously, if he's an injury, if he's as injury prone as it seems to be, then it was a good move. But, what about this pitching staff? They added a lot of pieces. So you have Kyle Bradish, who's supposed to be, an ace, a 1-2 kind of pitcher.
He's injury prone, but whenever he's healthy,
Trevor Rogers.
He is so
and
good.
then Trevor Rogers, who they traded for, they gave up Colton Cowser, or Kyle
Stowers.
I get those two confused. Yes, Kyle Stowers, who's been excellent with Miami. And people are like, oh, what a bad trade because Trevor Rogers was hurt.
Right.
But Trevor Rogers came back last
out.
year.
Oh.
It was excellent for my fantasy team.
It was funny. He was great as a rookie, not so great, and then last year he's very
he had
good
quite
again.
the start to the season yesterday. 7 shutout innings against Derek Shelton's Minnesota Twins.
And they still have some offensive pieces. I mean, obviously they're not going to be good, but it's not like the Twins are this horrible offense, in my opinion.
You got Byron Buxton when he's.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. So those two guys, right, are returners who you expect to be really good. But then you add Shane Baz, Pirates legend.
Oh wow.
Not now he's been kind of shaky, but the stuff has always been there. Last year he had a 4.87 ERA, but he had a 1.33 whip, so he wasn't terrible. Like,
Yeah.
he's a decent back-end starter. And then you also they gave Chris Bassett a lot of money.
But
and I like Chris Bassett, but he's
He's the Mitch Keller of that staff.
He's a very important pitcher in today's baseball because he doesn't get hurt very much. He eats innings, and he'll give you a 3.80 ERA with a strikeout an inning.
He was drafted as a relief pitcher out of Akron, which is crazy. And now he's like this guy that can throw a lot of innings.
He didn't pitch for a while. He was old like when he debuted and everything. He was with the White Sox, and he was with the A's.
I thought he was so underrated with the A's. I'm like, I don't know why no one's talking about him. And then I'm so glad he finally got that chance.
And Zach Eflin's a similar kind of pitcher. Now, Zach Eflin gets hurt a little more, but Zach Eflin's a solid. They raised the floor of their rotation this offseason.
The concern really for them is their bullpen. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we got to be honest.
I like their bullpen.
Well, they have Bautista, right? Or am I thinking?
Bautista's hurt right now. He's on the 60-day IL. But you bring in if Ryan Helsley can be better.
Oh, that's right. They do have him. Yeah.
But outside of that, I mean,
Yennier Cano, Andrew Kittredge. There's some.
Yennier Cano had a 5.12 ERA.
I know, but before. You're hoping for some bounce.
Relievers, it's so hard to find consistency because of the sample size.
That's something you can add to at the trade deadline if they could just hang around.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just so tough in that division.
Yeah, there are some question marks in that relief room right now because Bautista's hurt and Kittredge is hurt. Tyler Wells is a guy. He's a good long relief kind of guy. He was a starter for the Orioles for a while. He'll be a long relief guy, I think, for them, or a sixth starter, or could fill in the rotation. So, I mean, I think 84 wins is. I think that's around where they're going to be.
That offense, yeah, that's. I mean, all right. Let's look at Tampa Bay briefly, because they continue to sell, but they're kind of like the Cardinals, like the last couple of years, like they hang around anyway.
I think they I would be shocked if they're not last in the division. And I think they should go through a deep rebuild and then just build around Caminero.
Their offense, is solid.
Yeah. I mean, they have Yandy Diaz and Jonathan Aranda and everything.
Yeah, it's particularly their infield. I think their outfield leaves a little bit to be desired. They love Johnny DeLuca.
Yeah. Well, they traded Josh Lau, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they could have been buyers
so,
this year, like based off of last year, and they're still deciding to be. But I guess for a small market team, it's good to be conservative when you're in such a tough of division this year.
Yeah, I mean, these are the years where they should rebuild.
Unless you really think that you're gonna make a run.
Yeah, plan on competing whenever the Orioles all of a sudden have to rebuild it eventually. Red Sox, who knows, and Blue Jays, who knows. I mean, Yankees I think are always gonna stay in there. But
you look at their rotation at full strength, it's pretty good.
For the Rays?
Yeah, because you have Rasmussen. Pepio got hurt. But McClanahan, if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about this. So they Nick Martinez, nobody signed him. They signed him way late.
Really?
He's a solid back end kind of starter. And Steven Matz coming off a really good season last year.
Yeah,
but he's a reliever now.
He started a little bit.
Yeah.
Recent,
53
like last year.
games. He only had 2 starts.
They list him as a starter on, I don't know.
Steven Matz, I remember him in 2015 World Series.
Yeah. Oh, that Mets 2015.
It was 2015.
Well, they got, a big piece for their bullpen, Griffin Jacks. That's a nice
Their
closer there.
bullpen's always find a way to just be excellent.
They grab these random guys and then they end up being good.
But yeah, getting rid of Brandon Lau, getting rid of, who else did they get rid of? They got rid of another
Josh
hitter.
Lau. We just mentioned that. He's that one good year.
Well, they have Carson Williams at short now.
Who is that?
They're very high on. He's that prospect. I think he was like a fringe top 100. I think he was in the top 100.
Yeah.
But they were high on him. Jake Fraley's a solid player when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Chandler Simpson in the outfield. They have Cedric Mullins, who has been kind of on the decline in the past couple of years. But I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to win 78, 79 games somehow still. I don't think it's going to be terrible. Because
they have Pirate Killer Nick Fortes.
You got to tip your cap to him.
You got to tip your cap last year on opening day.
I got a memory of that yesterday about that video.
We got to tip the cap.
Yeah, he has been a Pirate Killer. And they have former, I don't know if you remember, Pirates legend Ryan Valade. I don't know if you guys remember. He
yeah.
was with the Pirates for like a week.
Wait, is he on their opening day roster? Really?
I
Yeah.
do not remember this person.
He was in AAA for the
And
Pirates.
he was a top 30 prospect somehow for the Pirates. I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
But they brought him in from Colorado.
yeah.
And then he bounced. He was with Detroit last
Well,
year.
didn't they DFA him? Or something?
Yeah.
The Rockies did?
Yeah.
And then the Pirates pick him up and he's a top 30 prospect. I'm like,
Yeah.
this makes no sense at all.
And he played a little bit for Detroit last year, I remember. But yeah, the Rays have him on their. There might be some injuries there, but yeah, the Rays. I would agree. I had them. I went on T-Lane Graves. Shout out T-Lane Graves.
Yeah.
We did our predictions. We all had him fifth. I think they're a comfortable fifth.
Yeah.
In this division, with the moves they made, selling off some guys.
And it's not Rockies fifth.
No.
So.
No, they'll be very feisty as always because you have Caminero, you have Diaz, you have Aranda. Like that's three really solid hitters.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about the defending Air American League champion and so close. So just heartbreakingly close
You
to being
rooted
World
against them.
Series. Well, of course I did.
disrespect.
Because I'm for the dynasty. You love the dynasty. We talk about that. We
I
love
hate the
dynasty.
dynasties. I like new teams.
Everybody loves
Yeah, but like
everybody hates the dynasty, so that's why I love
Yeah.
the dynasty.
I don't. The Dodgers one's like different for me, but like I don't hate the Dodgers.
Yeah. How can you? I mean.
But I was rooting for the Blue Jays. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Why was I mad at them? Because I wanted to see the Mariners in, I think. I was mad to see the Mariners. Anyway,
Which is fair.
yeah, this Blue Jays team, I mean they exceeded expectations last year.
I didn't think they'd make the playoffs.
No, like at this time last year, I don't think we thought much of the Blue. Like I remember saying actually, like, hey, they could be a surprise team, but like no one thought this. Dylan Cease is now a Blue Jay, but you lost Bo Bichette.
They gained the guy that everyone wanted the Pirates to get, Okamoto.
That's right, Kozumo Okamoto, Jesus Sanchez.
Oh yeah, they traded for him.
He's not
gave up.
terrible.
Oh, they gave up someone I liked. I think it was Joey Lopez.
Yeah, I think they traded him back to
Yeah,
Houston.
yeah. It was like they both teams regretted the trade, and it was just funny.
George Springer. I mean, I think a big thing last year was George Springer after being on the decline for so long.
Great. He was great last.
Yeah, he had phenomenal.
And
as a
he's
DH.
how old is he now? 36.
Yeah, because he's out of
so-
college. Yeah. Wow.
And then guys like that really stepped up. Obviously Dalton Varsho, Addison Barger out of nowhere.
Ernie Clement.
Yeah,
Ernie
in the playoffs.
Clement.
Yeah.
Is Andres Jimenez? He's a new addition, right?
He
This
was
is
there
their
last
second
year.
year.
Was
Yeah,
he there
because
last
he
year?
was
He
in
was
that
in the Horowitz
Horowitz.
trade.
Yeah.
Oh, he was bad last year. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
He was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
But he plays
But
good
that didn't really
defense.
matter.
He was
Yeah.
good in the playoffs. I remember in the playoffs
He
solid.
can be a good hitter for sure. Like he
I mean,
had
he
a
was
good season.
he was a 7-win player in 2022.
Yeah, because he was good offensively and he's amazing defensively. So.
In 24, he was a 4-win player. So he's not far removed from showing that production defensively.
I remember last year, like going into the playoffs, us thinking like, is because we saw how good the offense was, and if everybody continues to perform at the level they have been, like they're going to be fine. But the question was, can the rotation be good enough? And it was. I mean, but a big part of that was Trey Savage, the rookie sensation. He starts the year on the IL. But he's a big part. You get Max. They signed Max Scherzer.
Yeah, that's right.
They brought him
Dylan
back.
Cease.
Right, he was with them last year, right?
Yeah.
Scherzer. So hopefully he stays healthy. And then you've got Cease and Kevin Gausman, who has proven to be an ace.
Yeah.
Last year I think was one of his better years. So do we think the Blue Jays can? Is regression? Are they going to regress to the mean from an offensive and pitching standpoint potentially, or are they?
I think they'll win
gonna
the
back-
division.
Really?
I think so.
I
think
agree.
they will.
I actually agree.
Wow.
In my opinion, this is how I feel the division will go for them for that whole. And I know we're going to talk about this other team too, but I think it'll go Blue Jays, Orioles, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays.
The Red Sox in fourth.
It's just
Oh.
I go back and forth with them and the Yankees, but at the same time, it's like I think the Yankees. I think they'll be fine. It's just the Red Sox. I don't know. They're just weird. I don't know. I like their roster a lot. I think they have a loaded outfield. It's just, I don't know. I have a weird feeling. I think their pitching staff might be a little overrated at times, other than Crochet.
I might.
The Red Sox. Here's what's weird about the Red Sox.
Yeah.
They have some really good pieces, and they've developed some really nice young talent. Like, from a prospect and talent perspective, they have really done a good job. But this GM has been a bit weird with some of the trades and the lack of spending.
Like James Tibbs, that was like weird trading him for Dustin May at like randomly.
Trading Devers, although once they traded Devers, they started to be good. So, like, this GM's a bit weird. There's something a bit off there. But if you look at, let's go to the Red Sox. This roster.
I tell you what.
We were talking about this the other day. The Red Sox roster.
Well, I had them on T-Lane Graves as fourth as well. And I got to change that now because this rotation they have is one of the best in baseball. You bring in Sonny Gray, you bring in Ranger Suarez.
I forgot
with
they
Bayo,
did Suarez.
with
Yeah, you know
Oviedo,
what?
and
The
obviously
rotation
Crochet.
is good. I think I am hating on the
Chapman
rotation.
at the back end, and
Garrett Whitlock.
Garrett Whitlock.
Yeah.
It's I'm buying the Red Sox.
I bought them
Red Sox
to be
suck.
fair, I bought them last year and I was completely wrong.
Because
No, you weren't wrong. They made the. I mean, they.
But I
won
had them.
90
I had them
games.
being the American League representative in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I think
So
they obviously went into that wild card series with the Yankees without Roman Anthony. You could tell like they were a few pieces away.
yeah.
And you could make the argument now that they've added those pieces. I think a sneaky good at third base. They had to fill that hole. You
Caleb
get Caleb Durbin, and you know how big of a fan I am of him, and I'm glad the Pirates don't have to face him anymore. And then you have Wilson Contreras, veteran guy, right?
At first,
Who's
yeah.
gonna be good at bats.
IKF they bring in.
Oh yeah. I
Monasterio.
watched some video of this girl ranting about IKF platooning with Marcelo Meyer, and she was just like raging about it. It was funny.
Offensively, I think their pitching is probably you probably feel better about their pitching than their offense. But if Roman Anthony continues to be on the trajectory he is, like they're going to be fine. And
It's
obviously,
a strong
Jaron,
outfield.
Yeah, it is a
Jaron
strong
Duran and
outfield.
Willie Abreu and Yoshida's not bad. Yeah, the outfield,
Yeah, they do have like.
Yoshida
No, I have to
DH.
stick. I have to
Yeah.
stick with my gut. As much as I'm like now starting to buy into them, I have to stick to my gut.
The infield
Fourth.
is a bit weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcelo
I don't think-
Meyer. So he's on the team now. Oh, and Trevor Story last year finally had a healthy season. It was good for them. So he's your starting shortstop. But like, what really I always look at the pitching. Like I find offense important, but like, I agree if the pitching is just there. Yankees. Let's talk about Cashman's squad. Because we were talking about this the other day. Their opening day roster was a little weird. But when we talk about their bullpen specifically, I think that's what we were talking about. If Bednar continues the way he's pitched, right, he's your closer, and you could get quality production out of Camilo Duvall, although he could be erratic at times. Fernando Cruz has been very good for them. That's a great back end of
And
the
your
bullpen.
guy Tim
And
Hill.
Tim Hill
Yeah.
had his best season of his career last year, and he's a funky lefty you bring into certain situations, and he can get big outs, with runners on base. He had a 3.09 ERA last year, but their rotation is a little goofy right now because no Garrett Cole till May,
That's
end
the
of May.
question.
Yeah.
And then Carlos Rodon, we don't know what's going on there. Hopefully he'll
Yeah.
be back, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on. I mean, elbow. Anytime you hear elbow,
I didn't even know.
It's just, yeah. But I think a big key for this rotation, if Cam Schlittler looks like that guy
Yeah.
he did last year,
Yeah.
and he's their third or fourth or fifth starter in some capacity, like
And Ryan Weathers is a good pitcher.
Yeah, he is.
And I think he's a great kind of fifth starter once everybody gets back healthy.
Yeah.
It's just, can the Yankees weather the storm?
Weather the
Because-
storm.
Oh, wow. There you go.
you didn't even know he
No,
did
I
that.
didn't even know. No, I did not. I'm just like that. I'm just like that. Folks. No, but can they weather the storm? with this offense, have the offense kind of lead the way, because it's really the same offense as last year.
Yeah.
And it was a good offense. It was a really good offense. Bringing Bellinger back was huge. I think Grisham's going to have another good season.
If Stanton could stay healthy. I mean, he had 24 homers in 70 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he's going to make an interesting Hall of Fame case if he hits 500 homers. Because there hasn't been a Hall of Famer to not make. There hasn't been a player to not make the Hall of Fame hitting 500 homers if they haven't been rumored to steroids.
I wish Brian he brought in a lot of guys who are decent, contributors and role players. Like Trent, or I'm sorry, not Trent Grisham.
Excuse me.
Randall Grichuk. And then last year you got Ryan McMahon, who's solid, but Jose Caballero, you could play wherever, but he's not a great hitter. And then Ahmed Rosario, too. They made some trades last year. They just got a bunch of average guys who are decent contributors, but they're kind of older. I feel like they
not starters.
I feel like they needed, that thump in the lineup. And, yes, you brought in Cody Bellinger, but, you brought him back, but, I feel like they needed something more.
Well, yeah, I always feel like this with the Yankees, but I felt it less the past couple of years. Several years ago, it was a lot more glaring. Or it was just such a top-heavy lineup, and then the bottom was just a minefield.
It's not as top-heavy, but it still doesn't feel, scary.
Well, I think, if Ben Rice continues the way he's been hitting.
That's a big key.
Jazz Chisholm obviously lengthens out the lineup.
I mean, you have Spencer Jones coming up at some point.
That's another big key. And I don't know why I didn't make the... I understand your
Dominguez.
outfield is crowded. You got to find a way to get... This guy... he may be the next closest thing to Judge. I may be overreacting, but, you watch this guy hit, and he looks just like Judge. It's
like a lefty Judge.
But a lefty Judge. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his spring training numbers, and I know I am always the one who complains about spring training numbers. But, man, I think the big key is Ben Rice. Can he take a step forward? I mean, he was good last year because Goldschmidt is a bench player now. You got to let Ben Rice be the everyday first baseman. Yeah. And Spencer Jones, I mean, I think he could be the thump, but he's not on the team. And it's where are you going to find room for him? Because Stanton's the DH, Grisham, Bellinger, Judge.
Yeah.
It's just where are you going to find room for him?
You would almost. The only way I would think is move one of those guys to first, even if it is Spencer Jones, and then have Ben Rice catch, and then you bench Austin Wells. But that just doesn't work defensively at all.
No.
So.
But Wells is he's not a bad. I mean, he had 21 homers last year. I mean, I think the Yankees are fine. I really do. I think I was overreacting a little bit last week, and I was on Brian Cashman. I was 4-man rotation. Look at Judge. In the WVC.
How about Luis Heel not making the roster too?
Yeah,
that was interesting. And Ryan Weathers, and obviously Will Lauren. Is he in the road? Going to be in the rotation?
Why didn't he make the team?
I don't know.
Because it wasn't like it was bad last year at all.
Well,
and then he won
hurt.
Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I know. But unless they're nervous, I don't know.
Or we want to do a prediction for the AL East?
Yeah, we may just get. I don't know. We're never gonna get out of here. This is taking forever. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead if you want. We've gone through every team, right?
I already made mine. So.
You said Red Sox or
no.
Blue
Red
Jays.
Sox at fourth.
Yeah, Blue Jays, Orioles, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays.
All right. I'm gonna adjust mine a little bit. Just one tweak. Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Orioles, Rays.
Okay, so the Rays, I agree. The Rays are.
I think that happened last year too. That was the same exact division.
I think
it was, yeah, because the Red Sox were finished behind the Yankees.
Yeah,
I can't move the Red Sox. I moved them up to 3. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I do.
Orioles were last year. That was the only
I think
difference.
the Orioles are overhyped right now. To me, I'm going to say the Red Sox win the division. I'm going to say the Red Sox win the division. I think I'm going to put the Yankees second.
Blue Jays third. Blue Jays fourth?
Whoa. I mean, who knows?
Blue Jays fifth.
No.
Wow.
The Blue Jays, it's just like, I don't know. Like what they did last year was so improbable. It feels like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna put the Blue Jays. I'm gonna put the Blue Jays third, because I trust their pitching more than Baltimore's pitching, as far as injury history and bullpen and etc. And I'll put the Orioles fourth. And I'm not saying the Orioles can't make a run at things, but I do think
they've
been a bit overhyped.
I think that all four. I was saying
it could go anyway.
I was saying this earlier this week. I think all four of those teams could make the playoffs. There could be a scenario.
Because, look, AL Central, we always know it's, and the Twins aren't doing anything. The White Sox aren't doing anything.
Who's better, the Orioles or Houston? The Orioles or Texas? I think the Orioles are better.
I agree. I do agree with that.
Yeah, the AL East used to be a powerhouse, outside of the, it was all, well.
The Orioles were bad but then they had a stretch mid-2010s,
Yeah. That was fun.
Where everybody was.
Well, I'm talking about the AL. I'm sorry, I meant to say the AL West. Did I say?
Oh.
The AL West.
Yeah.
Houston, Seattle always fighting for the playoffs. Texas, they had their big year in 2020.
I love the AL West in the 2010s. I like the 2010s were great because all the small market teams were winning.
Yeah.
A's, Rays, Pirates, Orioles,
Rangers
Royals
back in the 2010s.
Yeah.
So I feel like these other divisions could go a bit quicker.
Yeah, we'll go quicker with.
So
let's
get to the AL Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we both agree. We agree. Like Minnesota. Yeah, you made an interesting prediction. You said, and I don't know if you still stand on this, that the White Sox would finish ahead of the Twins this year.
I agree. I 100% agree because I can go through who I think will win to who I think will be worst.
Wow.
Do you want me to go through my whole list of Central?
Please do.
All right. I was so low on them for years, but now I'm buying in on them because I liked a couple of the moves they made, and I think it really rounds out their team. I think the Royals go ahead and win that division. And the reason why I don't think the Tigers will is because I think there's going to be a weird situation with Skubal, and I don't know if they're going to trade him or not, and I think that's going to have a big impact. I think the Tigers will finish second, though. I think it'll go Royals, Tigers, Guardians, White Sox, Twins.
That's what I had, except I have Detroit winning the division still. I love the Royals. I'm a Royals guy. But I just think, and now seeing this Kevin McGonigal play.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's a hitter.
You talk about Skubal and Valdez in that rotation. Their bullpen's fine. But I think this offense is better with them what the Royals have still.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be close with those two teams, and Cleveland will be in it somehow. I'm convinced now. I'm convinced Cleveland might just win 90 games somehow. I don't know. This Chase DeLauder.
He's good. He's a good player.
Yesterday.
Yeah. He hit two?
Yeah, he hit two.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. He's not even that much of a power hitter, is he?
He had the one that it scraped. It just got out, and then he had another one because I was like, he hit another one?
Yeah.
Wow. But, yeah, so I think it's tough with – I don't want to – I had the White Sox – I'll keep the White Sox fourth, but that was
yeah.
I think I was just kind of hating on Minnesota a lot, but Minnesota, like the momentum of it was just nosedive. This last season, trading everybody at the trade deadline. Nobody wants to buy the franchise. They do next to nothing in the offseason. And I like Derek Shelton. I think he's a good guy, and I'm rooting for him. I hope they don't finish last.
Yeah,
but. And I don't think they will. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm gonna put them last because I had the White Sox fourth earlier in the week, but not a great start for the White Sox this season.
No, it wasn't.
But
I do like Will Venable a lot, though. I like Venable a lot, and I think they'll be better. So
so it'll be interesting. But yeah, Cleveland, if they do something here, because you look at that roster, it's just like. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Like, but they're gonna win.
Reese Hoskins is gonna just pop off
Oh
somehow.
man, that's right.
So
They
They'll be in it. I'm convinced they'll be in it still, even though they should win like 77 games. Like, I'm convinced they'll be in it. So, I got Tigers, Royals, Cleveland, White Sox.
But the reason the Cleveland's
Minnesota.
always in is when you have a perennial MVP candidate every single year and Jose Ramirez. I
That
mean,
is
it's just
true.
like, and then they always pitch well too, and that's
But
my
now-
concern with Kansas City guys. Like their issue, we know they're gonna pitch well. Like we know they're gonna pitch well. It's just, and obviously Cool Reagans. He was hurt last year a lot. Was he out the whole year?
No,
but a lot of it.
Yeah.
Right. He's their ace, so he's back. You have the great Bailey Falter. No, I'm kidding, but hopefully he does better than he did last year with the Royals. He was when we trade him. My only concern for them actually, and I found out about this after drafting him in fantasy. Estevez looked really bad in spring training.
yeah.
But you have guys like Ursig could fill in the closer role. Though his velocity was down
really?
significantly, Estevez. So hopefully that's not, but that's never a good sign. But my thing is the offense, it was so bad last year, guys. It was really bad.
Kansas City. you're saying?
Isaac Collins is a really nice pickup.
Yeah.
Starling Marte can,
And you have
can still do some
to
stuff.
assume that Jack Caglione is going to improve too.
That's the big thing. And
Yeah.
I'm not completely, compared to a lot of young players around the league, I'm not as sold on him.
He had a good WBC actually. He had.
He did.
Took the US.
and every aside from the MLB, he's figured out every single level of
Guys,
pitching.
he hit 157 last year in
Yeah.
62 games. And I think they're relying a little too much on that. Jonathan India was bad last year. I feel like every other year he has a good year though. So maybe this year he'll be better. I'm not completely bought on the offense. So I'm gonna go with Nate. I agree. Tigers first, Royals second. But I think, and the reason I really like the Tigers is two things. Number one, it has to be on the forefront of their minds, the desire
That
and
is
want
true.
to win the division and what that means.
Yeah.
Because last year they had it under wraps.
Completely.
Yeah.
It was.
They were the first team. Normally, there's one team
June,
in
there was-
May or June. It's wow, they have this division under wraps, and
That
that
was
was
them.
the Tigers, and they lost the division. So the motivation to get that banner of winning the division has to be high.
And Verlander's back.
Yeah.
You look at that rotation now. Flaherty needs to bounce back.
That is true.
And I think
and Mize too.
Casey
is
Mize.
something
brought up
you need.
Tarek Skubal and how that may be weird. I don't think they're going to trade him because they're
I
going to be
hope
all
not.
in this year.
Yeah, I
they're going to
hope
be
not.
all in.
Yeah.
Unless they really flunk for some reason. Let me go to their roster. But the
I'm
other
rooting for the
reason why I
Tigers, for
really
sure.
like the Tigers is obviously you have Valdez, but Skubal was already the AL Cy Young, but now you're going to have an angry Tarek Skubal because he wanted his $32 million, which he won in arbitration, but the Tigers are like, no, we're going to give you 19. We're not going to. It was very disrespectful. And then you go on to give Framber Valdez $50 billion. Okay, and I love
that
Framber
exact amount,
Valdez.
by the way, that's how much they're giving.
I
him.
love Framber Valdez, but the fact that you prioritized Framber Valdez over your ace,
Homegrown guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he knows he's pitching for a huge contract. I think that's just going to make him even better.
That's
And
a good point.
That's really exciting. And this Tigers offense, there's not a lot of star power, but 1 through 9, there's a lot of great guys. They have a deep lineup.
Yeah, talk about, Green and Carpenter and Torkelson, Gleyber Torres, Baez, if he can be kind of similar to what he was last year. Obviously, McGonigal. And you have depth. Matt Vierling's a solid, depth kind of guy. Zach McKinstry was an all-star last year. Yeah, I think the Tigers are the best team in that division. And I would like to see the Royals
And
win
that
it, but-
bullpen, too. And now you have Kenley Jansen,
Right.
who's ages like fine wine, similarly to our buddy Aroldis Chapman.
Jansen's a Hall of Famer, which is it's crazy, but it's how it is, especially with Lee Smith making it.
I think, though, the Tigers are going to be one of these teams at the deadline, because we like their lineup, but they need that one superstar bat. if they could get that at the deadline,
That's just tough at the deadline
It
to
is.
get.
it is.
but-
But like, they're a team I would look out for. Like, if you really like, I don't see them being a World Series team
Yeah.
unless they get a real superstar bat. Like, I feel like they need that. They need.
It would be like if Manny Machado was available like he was in 2018.
Like, they have
it
a
would be
lot
that
of
type of
good
move they'd
hitters.
have
They
to
just
make.
don't have that great hitter, I feel like.
Yeah, it's the question is, will that player be available?
There normally is something. There's always something you can do.
But they'd have
You
to
know.
really part with, and they'd have to be willing to do that. And they,
But, like, this is the year to go all in. Like, this is your
Yeah.
last year with Scooble. You have the rotation. You have the bullpen. Like, it's the year. You got your top prospect up. This
so
is
what's
the
your AL
Oh,
Central?
yeah, Tigers, Royals, Cleveland, Twins. Yeah, I'm going to put the Twins fourth, White Sox fifth. I'm
I think that's.
not going to.
Yeah, I mean that's
I think that's the more likely, but I'm gonna stick with
it's
it.
just baseball. You never know. Like that's why I don't like I don't know. I like being different with baseball because you don't know.
And Pablo Lopez is hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's discuss Cleveland briefly.
Ugh. Do we have to?
I mean, Colin Holderman, that's a
Ugh.
big pickup.
Colin Holderman with a 1.5 ERA for Cleveland.
Probably. He's gonna just figure it out.
Yeah, it's literally the same exact team as last year, guys. Like, it's
Bro, it's worse. It's like
now Reese Hoskins is a sneaky sign. I can't believe nobody
minor league deal.
on a
league
minor
deal, yeah.
league deal. Like, and he wasn't bad last year. Like,
Yeah.
he literally wasn't when he like. That's a good signing for them, but as long as Jose Ramirez is that guy, like, they're always going to have a chance,
Yeah.
Chase the ladder. I never even really heard of him, but he hit 2 homers in his
He's not known
his
as a power
debut.
hitter, I don't think, either.
no.
Well, another thing for Cleveland, at some point Travis Bazzana might get
Yeah.
called up, and he hasn't performed as well like in the minor leagues, but there's obviously very high expectations for him.
Mm-hmm.
And what
So-
keeps another thing keeps is just the Twins and the White Sox are going to be bad, so you're
Yeah.
only competing with 2 other teams.
What is their out? What is this? They're only listing 3 guys in their outfield right now. Yeah, it's just like how are you like? David Fry was bad last year. It's like C.J. Kafis, Brian Rocchio, that Arias. Is that Arias still on the team? Yeah, Gabriel Arias. Like I love Ramirez. I love Kwan. I wanted the Pirates to try to get Kwan in the offseason.
Yeah.
Manzardo, I think, will take a step forward. Schneeman always does something. Like he's kind of a clutch hitter. Yeah, this chased a lot. I mean, yeah, I'm convincing myself Cleveland's gonna win this division somehow.
That would be
AL,
yeah.
AL West.
I think I know mine.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is going to be a very, very hot takes, but well, not the
I
first
may
one.
also
I
have
the-
some hot takes.
Yeah, I have Mariners winning it.
Yeah.
I have the Rangers second. I have the Athletics third. I have the Astros fourth. And I have the Angels last. And I think that there's a chance
Wow.
that the Astros could be last. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of
Well,
regression.
they got shut out
Yeah.
by the Angels yesterday.
I mean, I didn't even know that. It's not even based on that. It's just
Yeah.
there's going to be a time where the Astros are going to have to go through a rebuild again.
Well, then Alvarez he
but-
should have had a homer, but it hit the ceiling.
Yeah, but that would have
Yeah.
been a solo homer. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, but that's right now. I have the Astros fourth, but I think them and the Angels could be interchangeable.
I can't remember if I had Houston or Texas. I went kind of chalk because I love my A's, but it's just like they did so little to address that pitching staff that
Yeah.
was so awful last season. I think they're going to be better, but I just think they're going to be fourth in that division. The Angels are going to lose 9. They'll be fun. We talked about it. They'll
Yeah.
be fun, but they'll lose 90-plus games. I think I had Texas second. I think I had Mariners, Texas, Houston, A's, and the Angels.
That's what happened last year too. I think.
Now Houston was second, weren't they? Or did they finish third?
Oh, they finished second. I'm an idiot. Yeah, the Rangers were third.
I want to ride the rain. I always pick the Rangers every year.
Because they should be better, really. But I think the rotation actually can be very good.
Eovaldi, DeGrom,
Mackenzie Gore, yeah. I mean, those are three very good pitchers.
And then Jack Leiter is not bad.
Yeah, he had a solid season.
He was good last year.
I remember last season, I don't know if you guys remember, I was like, this bullpen is going to be terrible for Texas. I said that, and they were like one of the better bullpens in baseball. It was a bunch of like no-name players, and they kind of have that similarly this year. Jacob Junis is a nice addition.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Martin's a good pitcher. Tyler Alexander.
He is old.
Yeah.
I know, but he's still going. He's still going.
How old is
He's
he now?
gray. He's 39.
Wow.
He's been great. He's had gray for like 6 years. Again, the question with the Rangers, and again, why I think they're going to fall short, is can they just click offensively? I mean, they have the guys.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we were thinking it was going to be a great offense, and the pitching was going to be an issue. And it was such an abysmal offense.
Yeah.
I mean, Corey Seager got to stay healthy. Jock Peterson, you got to get something out of him.
Beyond awful.
I know.
Like beyond. It was bad.
And we wanted him so bad, and for good reason. But now he's going to platoon at DH with Kutch, probably.
Andrew McCutcheon's going to have to leave.
Wyatt Langford was good last
year. He's a good all-around player.
He can even be better.
I mean, his offense, I still don't think has reached his peak, and he's fantastic in the outfield. Like one of the best. So.
Yeah, so...
who the heck is Ezekiel Duran? I saw him yesterday.
He's been on that team for years.
Who is this?
He's been on that team for a while.
0 homers, 14 RBIs, and 200 at-bats last year.
Yeah, he's just
what
kind
are
of
we
incredible.
doing?
He's usually just kind of there.
Yeah.
But I think the Mackenzie Gore trade was important because they lose what's his name? Tyler Malley. He was a solid contributor for them in their rotation. And I think it moves, Leiter and Kumar Rocker, back a little bit.
Yeah.
If you get anything from them, I think Leiter still has.
Leiter was good, I thought. For the most part, Kumar Rocker, I think they have to move him to the bullpen.
Houston, something feels off with them. It
Yeah.
feels like
I think this is the year they just.
It's a lot on Hunter Brown's shoulders. Obviously, they have Mike Burrows now.
Yeah.
They got that MI from Japan.
But they have nobody coming up in their system to do anything really, and that's going to be a concern for them.
Yes. And they got a log jam. I don't like their outfield either.
Yeah.
Like Jake Myers is a fine player, but and Joey Loperfido.
I didn't mind them trading Jacob Melton. I thought he was a little overrated, but I didn't mind them trading him if they were going to trade prospects. But still, you don't have anyone in the outfield that can come up and do damage.
Cam
really.
Smith, I think, last year, obviously as a rookie, he was okay.
Yeah.
But can he take a step? There's a lot of questions I think with Houston. I think the bullpen beyond Hader and Abreu, there's a lot of questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's my hot take, guys.
Let's hear it.
I don't care. The Rangers are winning the division.
I had them winning
care.
the division last year.
I don't care.
Mean, it's
Look,
not out of the
Seattle,
realm of possibility.
similar to Toronto, exceeded expectations. Now, Seattle, they're still going to be a playoff team, I think, and they probably will win the division just because their pitching is so good. But I think their offense takes a step back this year. I don't think Cal Raleigh is going to repeat what he did or come that close to it, quite frankly. I think Julio Rodriguez could be a bit weird at times. Brendan Donovan, I like Brendan Donovan, but Jorge Polanco is the better player. I just think the Mariners, can I trust them as an organization to win year in and year out? I don't. I don't trust it. Now their pitching's going to be amazing, but their infield here.
Yeah, their infield's going to be interesting.
Leo Rivas.
Well, J.P. Crawford's
Cole
on the
Young.
10-day IL right
Yeah.
He's okay. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they win the division. I just don't think they're going to have the same magic they did last year.
Where they make that run, yeah. I get what you mean.
I'm still gonna have them as a favorites because I think that I need to see the Rangers prove to me that they can be an average offensive team at least.
Yeah.
They were just bad offensively last season.
I think Andrew McCutchen is a big key, folks. I got to ride Kutch. Like, I saw him hit yesterday. He looks like his bat speed. Like, he looks like a guy who's playing with incredible motivation right now.
He is. He's playing with anger.
I hope he does great. Yeah,
And
I wanted him
Brandon
on the
Nimmo,
team.
He's a good addition.
Uh,
Like, that was really
guys,
a win-win
like,
trade.
I think the Rangers won that. I think Simeon. I like Nimmo more. I think over Simeon.
I mean, Nimmo
I
gets
don't
on base a good bit,
disagree
too.
with that.
And if you could get anything out of Jock Peterson,
I mean,
like-
Peterson has half of what he did 2 years
and
ago.
we know how
You'll
good
take it.
Corey Seager is too, but he's never healthy.
Yeah.
If he could just stay healthy, like, yeah. And who's their new manager? I forget.
It's Marlins old guy, right? Schumacher, yeah.
Schumacher, yeah.
Wait. Was he the Marlins manager last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
They fired him for
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, they fired for no reason because
Huh.
they traded everybody.
Yeah, that was such a. Yeah, but I understand the hesitancy with Seattle because their offense has been so suspect, for all these years, and
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I still think though. I think.
yeah, but I'm gonna
I'm
have
just
Seattle.
taking a hot take there.
Yeah, which is
What's the rest of your?
Yeah, Oakland or Sacramento or whatever you want to call it.
A's? Just
Yeah.
the
They have a
A's.
patch now of everywhere they've been.
Yep.
And people aren't happy about it. But they opened their social media account comments, so that's nice
Wow.
of them. Let me look at the A's real quick. Because I don't know. Yeah, their offense is going to be really good.
And they have Leo DeVries coming up too, who's probably he could make his debut this year maybe
It's just
at some point.
I just know they're gonna give up a bunch of runs.
That's the concern. But I don't know, maybe Jeffrey Springs after a full season after
I
being hurt,
considered
he
the
could be
A's
good.
over Houston. But-
I honestly
Yeah.
don't care because I don't have either of those teams as playoff teams.
Yeah, I
So,
don't either.
Yeah. All right. Angels are last. Sorry, but
Yeah, I agree.
no pitching. And they're just such a incompetent organization.
Yeah.
All right. National League real quick. If we can. Or we could do the National League next time. And then do March Madness. I don't know. It's up to you guys.
Oh yeah,
We could. Why don't we
Yeah.
say our playoff teams for the American League real
And then
quick?
we'll save the National
Yeah.
League predictions for next
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
on the fly coming up. That's a great job. Excellent job.
Yeah, let's go. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
AL playoff teams.
Yeah.
So I got the Blue Jays winning the East. So I got Blue Jays, Tigers, Mariners. Wild card, I have the Yankees, the Red Sox, and Kansas City.
All right, mine, I have Blue Jays, Royals, and Mariners winning the divisions. My wild card teams are Orioles, Yankees, and Tigers.
So my division winners: Texas, Boston, Detroit. This is where it gets tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees are going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seattle's going to be a playoff team. Wait, do I have every team from last? No.
No, you don't.
Yeah, wait.
Texas. You have Texas winning the
Texas.
division.
Seattle, Yankees, Red Sox. I'm losing track. Tigers. It's going to come down for me between the Royals and the Blue Jays for the last playoff spot. and the Orioles too. I got to consider the Orioles. Boy, oh boy. You know what? I got to put the Blue Jays in. They just were in the World Series. I can't not have them in.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I have them as my last wild card team this year. So Yankees, Blue Jays, Mariners, Red Sox,
Tigers,
Rangers. So only one from the AL Central.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
We have one from the AL West. Did you have the Rangers?
I have one, yeah. No, I have the Mariners. That's the only AL West.
Yeah.
The Central teams I have are Royals, Tigers, and then the East I have Blue Jays, Orioles, Yankees.
Want to get into some March Madness then? Some madness? You want to talk about your bracket and how well you're doing?
I have to brag. I have to brag a little bit. My bracket, this is easily... So I actually really studied. I didn't say I studied, but I was very strategic with my bracket because I knew Chalk is going to win now in the NIL era. Chalk is going to win. Last year I didn't do enough Chalk. But I picked a couple upsets that paid off for me. But what I did was I made 3 different brackets too. So I kept all my brackets kind of. Well, one I made one was really kind of goofy, but 2 of my brackets I kept kind of similar. To made a couple different changes, and both of those are doing really, really well. My OG bracket though, my original, what I think is going to happen is doing really well. It's on ESPN. It's at 620. 620 points.
Wow.
Which would lead sideline if he was in it.
I didn't join the sideline one because I wanted more time to think. And so I have Arizona as my champion. They won big last night.
Yeah,
sadly. I wanted Arkansas, but I just kind of knew Arkansas didn't have enough this year to be a true contender. As much as I was rooting for them, I have Arizona, Duke, Michigan. And I have Illinois in the Final Four.
That's a great Final Four.
And Illinois going to the national championship, losing to Arizona. So Illinois winning last night was huge. And a lot of people, I'm in a 60-person pool and a 90-person pool. I'm in second place in my in the 60-person pool, and I'm in fourth in the 90-person pool.
You're cooking.
Yeah, so
you're really cooking.
Hopefully, but Illinois has to take care of business against Iowa.
That's a great matchup for you too.
Arizona, I think Purdue's going to give them a game too. So, and obviously, I want the Johnnies to win though. If Duke, if Johnnies do win tonight, that would bust my other bracket because I have Duke as my champion, my other bracket. But the Arizona bracket is the one and Duke's in the Final Four. But for me in that bracket, but I don't have them winning any. I have Illinois, so I really just need Illinois and Arizona. I don't think Bama is going to beat Michigan. I'm not too concerned about that. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't believe Bama's made it this far, just with all the stuff going on with them.
Yeah.
I had them probably losing in the first round in one of my brackets just because,
Yeah, me too. I was in all, that was my one upset, and I was in on Hofstra. The big thing that actually I gained some points on, I had Texas going to the Sweet 16 in my bracket, and that panned out.
Yeah.
Really well.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So.
Nathan Schivins, not great once again.
Yeah, same here.
But,
not horrible. Yeah, horrible.
But my one solace hope here is my highest potential points is kind of up there in the leagues I'm in.
Wow.
So I still have some potential points because I have Arizona winning it all still. So that's the only hope for me. But usually I'm terrible. I think I was second to last in the one I was in last year. And so I'm terrible at this, and I should have done a little more chalk in some areas. But again, I think I just misread Texas. That was one of my big things. And I didn't watch them much this year, and I was just like, BYU has the best player in that game. But Texas really is the better overall team.
My big thing, I like picking teams from the first 4 just because they have that momentum. And in 2 of my brackets, I had Texas going to Sweet 16 just because the momentum factor, and because BYU, they were missing one of their best players.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I also had in my other bracket, I did on the volume.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a big pool. That's like I'm not gonna win that at all.
And you did a goofy. That was your goofy.
I made that one. Like I had Arkansas in it and St. John's, and I had Houston in the championship. Like it was like all teams I didn't really believe in, but I wanted.
Yeah.
But the reason I had, but in that bracket I had BYU going to Sweet 16 because I truly believed that whoever won that game would beat Gonzaga.
Right.
Because we were talking about this, like, we did not believe in Gonzaga this year. Like, they just, that WCC does not have the same, firepower. Like, it's just.
St. Mary's got blown out.
Like, the teams just aren't as good.
And it's a shame because, like, Gonzaga entered the transfer portal, or the NIL transfer portal thing at the worst time since they've been so close to championships. Like so many years, and then now it's gonna be so much more difficult. It's a shame because I want Gonzaga to win one.
Well, they really
maybe they need to move to a different conference.
They are.
They are to Mountain
They're moving
West.
it's the Pac-12, but
Or
it's
the
like
Pac-12,
it's the Mountain West teams that are joining.
Yeah,
I think that'll help them.
So that'll be like Boise and like Utah State.
Yeah.
I don't know if Utah State's in that actually, but we'll see.
Hopefully they can move.
All
to, like,
those
the Big
teams.
12
I mean,
or something.
Santa Clara played a really good game, and they should have won. I mean, that was a miracle. It like.
But
the Kentucky guy just threw that up.
Yeah.
And it, like,
But
on the line. I didn't think it had a chance at all.
But they would have got blown out by Iowa State, even if because Kentucky, I mean, is not that good.
I was hanging out with friends and family, and we were at Buffalo Wild Wings. And whenever Santa Clara made that shot, it was like, oh, and then Kentucky's like, oh, it was just funny.
I'd say I was upset. Both overtime games I got screwed on. North Carolina losing to VCU. Although I didn't have North Carolina going far.
Yeah.
But they were up 19. Like that's one.
That was.
And then that game.
Well, I had those too. But
Well, the UNC coach got fired, right? Yeah.
Yeah, or they parted ways or whatever.
Parted ways.
Yeah, I don't. UNC. We'll see what that job, what some of the candidates are.
Yeah.
That's obviously a coveted job, but yeah, it's been a lot more chalk. There hasn't been like kind of that. I mean,
I want to talk.
I mean, High Point was a really good mid-major this year.
They were.
And they gave Arkansas all they could handle too in the second round.
And
they beat Wisconsin.
I thought there were some. I mean, there were some. I thought that this year, even though again there weren't a lot of upsets, I thought that the mid-majors put out better performances. Like Akron made it a really interesting game with.
I was rooting for the Zips. I really was.
Who else was it? Who else? Obviously Siena.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Wright State was very competitive.
Yeah.
I thought that the mid-majors put a good showing, but in the age of NIL, these teams just have firepower where they could just outscore you.
Right.
And that's even what we saw with High Point against Arkansas. It's just like Arkansas just had too many, Darius Acuff's just to that guy.
He's incredible. I mean, he should be. Yeah. People should be talking about him for the #1 overall pick than they are. And it's crazy because he wasn't even a top 150 recruit.
He's so good.
Or was he? I don't think.
John Calipari's
no, he was. He was.
Track
I'm an idiot.
record, right? He's best known for getting these guys NBA ready.
Yeah.
So if I'm not picking him 1, I'm picking him 2. Like I don't know. Darren Peters said there's just something weird.
Well, a cuff to me could average 20 and 10 in the NBA, 10 assists in the NBA. Really, I think he's incredible.
But tough for Houston last night. Every time they lose a game in the tournament, it's because they just have the worst shooting performance. Like every time.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's and at the end of the season this year, it just didn't feel like they were this team last year, and it just felt like last year if they were ever going to do it, it was their year.
Yeah.
You had the lead. Florida, let's be honest, that was a goofy championship because I mean credit. Welter Clayton was incredible. They did an incredible job, but like Texas Tech was up on them in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
They somehow came back in that. Auburn, I think, was probably the best team in the tournament, and their star forward, what was his name? I forget his name.
Janai Broom.
He was playing with like one leg.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you're down to Houston in that game. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
how does Houston, like Kelvin Sampson, he's been coaching for so long, he deserved it. And it's just like, how do you come back?
And this
from
year,
that?
like one of my faults too, like I let my my heart influence my head on Houston.
And I've
Yeah.
done that a lot with my brackets. I think that's what helped me this year is I didn't like, but that's why I made multiple brackets. Like
Yeah.
one where I used my head and the other where I used my heart.
Because
Yeah.
I picked Illinois initially, and I was like, I gotta just pick Houston.
Oh.
I knew because I love Houston. I love
Yeah.
Kelvin Sampson.
I usually
And-
pick Illinois to go far because my dad likes them. So like I
like Illinois, too,
I always
honestly.
pick
I
them to
really
go
like
far.
Illinois. I mean, first of all, we were talking about this last night. The length of these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
they
They have a really good freshman that
And-
he actually was outside of the top
Eden
150.
Wagler,
yeah, and he's incredible.
and
They have a lot of
their
depth.
coach,
Yeah.
Underwood, he's recruiting from,
Eastern
Europe.
Europe.
which
Yeah.
I think is great. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think they just play the game the right way, and you know, I like. I mean,
I like them going forward. Yeah. for
yeah,
sure.
I really do. I mean, Houston.
They're gonna be in the final
They struggled
four.
offensively too in that game, but Houston is a good defensive team. You got to beat Iowa. Please do not lose to Iowa. What a story! Let's talk about Iowa because they really are a Cinderella,
Mhm.
and the fact that, you know,
9
all of
seed,
their
very
guys-
overlooked.
all their guys that are recruited. Speaking of those guys, Fulgaris has been huge for them
Yeah.
late in these games.
He's like a sixth man to them,
It's a
right?
lot of guys from mid majors.
Yeah.
A lot of guys
And-
from Drake that the brother
Right.
coming
Oh,
over.
And then
yeah,
Stern
that's
is
right.
just their really star player. But what was crazy, that game they beat Florida, they were ahead like by 12. Florida comes back and they're winning. You think, oh, Florida's going to pull
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And they somehow win that game. And Sternitz was like 0 for 9
Yeah.
from the floor.
It was a weird.
crazy.
That was such a weird game watching that.
Yeah.
Because Florida, yeah, like everyone's like, okay, Florida's got it now, right? They came back on him, and yeah, Ben McCollum he's a psycho, like in the best way. Like he's just a winner.
Yeah.
He's won everywhere. He crushed it at Drake. Year one, and it really isn't a crazy talented team. They just played it like you said. It's like six Drake players.
Well, when
Yeah.
you're in the
Came
Big
over.
Ten and you're that battle tested, like the Big Ten easily has proven to be the best conference this year based on this tournament. I mean, when you're
The Big 12. I still think.
who's left from the Big 12?
Well, I mean, but in
Other than
general, like the
Arizona.
depth of the Big 12. I think this year the Big 10 was the best.
that's what I'm talking about
Yeah.
this year. I mean, and they've proven it in the tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa, that's just a great story. And I want to talk about, because the big topic has been, well, the tournament isn't good anymore because there's no Cinderellas. I hate that sentiment. I completely disagree.
This has been a great turn.
There's
Yeah.
been just because we don't have as many lower seeds in it doesn't mean that the quality of games are bad.
Well, either way,
I disagree.
Iowa was a 9th seed and Texas was an 11th seed, and they went pretty far. It's not like
right.
every single 1 seed and 2 seed made it to the Elite 8. You know
No,
what I mean?
and I really don't care about. I don't. It doesn't matter to me if you have to have a 12 seed in and this. I don't care about the seeds and who's getting upset and who isn't. I just want to see good games, and I feel like there's been a lot of good games.
I think that's what people want to say. Like, oh, we love like the mid majors and these teams,
Yeah.
Cinderellas, but really, people love the big brands,
right.
and people love
They won't admit it, but that's the
competitive
truth.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the big. I like the Cinder. I like when Loyola Chicago made it all the way. I
Yeah.
was all in on Loyola Chicago. I think a lot
Yeah.
of people were, but they were really good, and they were winning these games against really good opponents. And so it's just going to be harder now in this transfer portal. I think a lot of it's the transfer portal, not even NIL.
Yeah.
Just because if you have a great player in a mid-major, they're going to transfer up the next season. So you have that one season where you could, like with a high point, you try to capture. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen, but we saw with Robert Morris, everybody left
Yeah.
last season except for one player.
Yeah,
So-
which is a shame. But it is what it is.
And they almost still made the tournament in the Horizon League. So
So we'll end with this. Who do we like moving
Oh,
forward?
we gotta mention Nebraska just real quick.
Oh,
because
Oh yeah, because they had a historic season.
it's a historic season.
Yeah.
It came to an end against Iowa. They were winning that whole game really, and Iowa just kept in it. But historic season. They got a great fan base. Winning two tournament
Nebraska
games.
Vanderbilt game was my favorite game of the tournament because both of those teams played so well.
I would agree.
Like in that game, like nobody deserved to lose that game, and
Right.
that kid for Vanderbilt
Tyler
kept them
Tanner.
in the game in the first half. And unlike the Kentucky BS half court shot that went in on the line, I thought Tanner shot had the perfect arc, everything.
Bank hit right off the
Yep.
backboard.
Perfect touch, you thought. And people are saying it should have went in because the balls are inflated. That's been another topic. But I don't know anything about that. Really, I don't want to comment on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to shout out Nebraska.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
And
of course.
Vanderbilt should have been a higher seed, and Arkansas probably should have been a higher seed. The SEC seeding kind of got disrespected, but the SEC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12 have beaten the SEC in these biggest games. So, I mean, Kentucky, none of these lower SEC seeds really did anything, except for Tennessee. And I think they have a chance tonight. So to end this episode, who do we like moving forward in this tournament? If you're just looking at it right now,
Honestly, I think Illinois.
wow.
I mean,
To
that's
win
a
it
hot
all,
take.
or just
they're
don't
probably
know.
gonna be in the final four.
I think they definitely will. I think
Iowa?
the final
You can't
four.
count out Iowa.
I think the final four could be UConn, Illinois, Arizona, Michigan.
UConn.
Yeah.
I gotta be okay. There's a few teams I'm like just.
UConn could lose tonight. I think.
They could.
I'm out on
but who
UConn
knows?
this year.
I mean,
I don't think UConn and Michigan State. The winner of that game isn't going to win another game. Like I think Michigan State, there's just a clear ceiling.
it's just I always feel
and
weird with
UConn,
Duke.
UConn hasn't been that good. Like even in the games they've won, they just lately they just haven't been
Would it be? Could
quite
it
as
be?
dominant. And I really believe the winner of this Duke St. John's game is going to go to the Final Four.
They could.
And,
yeah.
But my concern with Duke, they just haven't looked all that good either in these
Yeah.
first two tournament games. But we know how dominant they can be, and they have such a deep bench.
But they've been hurt. They've had. We'll see.
Right.
Maybe they'll probably get them back now. You'd think after a week
Maybe.
break, but. Could it be St. John's? Would it be St. John's UConn if both teams win?
Yeah.
That would be a cinema.
That would be. Yeah, it would be.
But I think Michigan State's going to win tonight. Actually, I believe they're playing better basketball right now. Yeah. So, but Duke is interesting. I really think though the two number one seeds, Arizona and Michigan, are both going to be in the Final Four. And I think the winner of that game, Arizona-Michigan, will win the championship. And I think Michigan,
Yeah, I agree.
You know, they've just been so dominant all year, and they've looked pretty good in these first two games. And I think Michigan's path is pretty. I don't think Iowa State or Tennessee would beat them.
No.
I think Purdue can give Arizona. If you're looking for a sleeper team outside of like St. John's or Illinois, I think Purdue, just because of how good the Big Ten's been. But Matt Painter in the big spot, you know, we've talked about that.
I just think Arizona just is really good.
Yeah.
And they were talking about this on the broadcast last night. They take the fewest, like by far, 3-pointers out of any team because they could just get whatever they want down low.
yeah.
And I think that's going to be a concern for any team facing Arizona. Is they're a really big team, which I think Arizona Illinois would be a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that's what I'm praying for it, man. I'm praying for it, and especially if Illinois doesn't have to play Duke in the Final Four.
But I think Michigan matches up with Arizona a little bit
Yeah. Oh yeah.
in the interior. They got what's his name, the big man for Michigan, and they got Morez Johnson, who's really solid, and Yaxel Lindenborg, who's he's like 6'8", I think, but he's a big guy. He's not going to get pushed around down low if he had to switch. So. And they have good perimeter defenders, so that'll be Arizona Michigan if that's the game, or Arizona Illinois. I think that'd be a really really good game.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have Purdue, Michigan, and Illinois in the Final Four.
That'd be insufferable.
Yeah.
That would be
But I
a
think
nightmare.
it's possible. But I do think Purdue. I don't think. I think Arizona is just such a wagon. I certainly hope so.
They're due as well.
All right, gentlemen, that was some great stuff today. I'll tell you what. It was great talking ball per usual.
We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Check out
But
our
it was good. It was good that we
Right.
had some great interviews. I'm interrupting you multiple times.
Check out our latest episode. Our episodes with Austin Bechtold,
Filipponi.
Filipponi, and Kevin Gorman.
Mm-hmm. All three of them were great.
Yeah, excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And follow us on our social media accounts. Please subscribe. We're technically at 100 subscribers.
Oh. We've been at 100 subscribers.
We're at 100
We're
subscribers.
at 102 actually.
So hang the banner, I guess. So let's keep that rolling, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.